Alright, so we are back with another round of getting a compact flash card installed in this old Dell Latitude. So, here's the second card I'm going to try. This is a brand new 8GB 133 compact flash card from Transcend. Now, it's not the fastest that this computer's IDE controller can actually utilize. I think this thing writes at about 20 megabytes, but the maximum speed of this computer's IDE controller is about 33 megabytes a second, so we'll be losing some speed, but it should, you know, I don't know if it will work, but we're going to try this one. Now, I did read that the problem we might be having with this other compact flash card is because it's too big, or maybe it uses some sort of newer protocols that this one has. This one, I mean, supports, but that one doesn't. So we're just going to see if this one will work. So I'm going to go ahead and put it into the caddy, since right now, let me go get the caddy. Alright, so right here is the caddy. As you can see, we've got our old 16 gigabyte card, and the thing also fell out. I'm not sure, it could be this adapter. If this card doesn't work, I will go ahead and just get another adapter and try that as my next step to troubleshoot this. So let's go. Alright, so here is the card, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take out this card from this IDE adapter, and as you can see, it comes out pretty easily. So we can go ahead and set this one aside, and now we can take our new card and slide it into the pins on this one. So now all I have to do is just do that, and now it's in the adapter, and now we can put it into the hard drive caddy for the Dell. There we go. The thing is now in, and now I'm going to go ahead and put this into the laptop, and we're going to boot it up. So, alright, so now the card is inserted into the computer, and we are now going to turn on the computer and boot into the BIOS. So here we go. So we're going to press F2 for the BIOS again. So as you can see, it's booting up. Alright. And we should be entering the BIOS screen in a minute here. Alright, so we're in the BIOS, and as you can see, it is detecting the hard drive, the compact flash card, as an 8GB hard drive, which, you know, is expected since this is an 8GB card. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and boot into Windows 98, the Windows 98 CD, and hope for the best. Alright, so we are now back in the DOS prompt, so let me go ahead and see the C drive. Hold on. Alright, there we go. C. Alright, so invalid drive specification. Let's go ahead and type in fdisk. Okay, so we get that, but then... Okay, same thing as before. So I have a feeling that it's probably the adapter now. So if it doesn't work with that, I'm gonna say that unfortunately it's probably gonna be the BIOS or something. I mean, what we can try to do is we can try to update the BIOS. I think that this computer isn't running the latest BIOS, and that might be why it's not wanting to work, but I mean, I doubt it. So I'm gonna try a different adapter, and I'm gonna see if I can find a way to update the BIOS on this. So yeah. Alright, so I'm back, and I have a new compact flash adapter. So what I have here is the old one. Let me see if I can get that to focus, but This is the old one, and it has a version, I think, a version number on it, and I can't really get this. Okay, here it goes. You can see that this is the one that isn't working in this computer. It has a it has like a version number. It says V81, and it's, my camera doesn't want to focus here, but that's what it says. It's V.8, actually V.B1, so that's probably a different revision. But this one I have here is a different one, which I got off of eBay, and fortunately this thing does not want to focus really good, but here it is. This is a different one. As you can see, the text and doesn't read whatever it was last time. It reads a different serial number. I would guess it is like a model number, like a different revision of it. It says V.H2, and that's my phone going off, so yeah, sorry. So this is probably, I don't know if it's like a newer one or an older one. It has a different setup. If you can look here, it's got some text that says jumper 1 equals, let me read it. For some reason, it looks like there's some gunk on it. I don't know why. The seller said that this was a brand new card. Or like, if I can get this to focus again, there was like some gunk on the card, the adapter. But it says jumper 1 equals, actually jumper 1 and 2 equal master/slave, and then 2, 3 equals slave/master. So on this one, the one that isn't working, the other one, this is the V.B1, the one that isn't working in this computer. It has a system where jumper close equals master, then open equals slave. So these two, if I can get this to focus, this really doesn't want to focus. It wants to focus on my computer screen. Let me try turning that off. These two are inherently different. They have a different revision number, and they have a different jumper setup. So what I'm going to see is that maybe this card with the card that isn't working, this one, is just a newer revision, or maybe it's an older revision, and this one, the different one, might be a newer or a older card, and this thing does not want to focus. But this is the one that we're going to try, and this is a different compact flash to ID adapter. So let's see if this one will work. So I'm going to try. So I've got my 2 compact flash cards here, and both of them, if I can get this to focus, both of these cards, the 16GB industrial one and the 8GB consumer one, both gave up an error on this laptop. It kept giving up the error reading fixed disk. So maybe, and considering that I've tried 2 different cards, maybe this adapter is just faulty. Maybe it's a defective one. Maybe it's just a different revision. Maybe there's something that's different in the new one, which will allow us to actually get it to work. So I'm going to go ahead and get it set up and put it into the caddy, and then we're going to boot up the computer and see if it works. Alright, so this card right here, this, let me see if I can get the focus. This new card has a little bit of a problem. However, it might be able to be fixed. Now, normally, on not compact flash, but IDE, there are like 40 pins. But one of those pins, pin 20, is not really used often. So sometimes, parts where you're going to be plugging a hard drive in, or even some hard drives themselves, IDE devices, sometimes they just don't have that pin. And this hard drive caddy, where you're supposed to plug the hard drive in, is no exception. There is a missing pin 20. So this adapter here has that pin. So it doesn't want to go in to this caddy because, of course, because pin 20 is not missing on this one, but it's missing on here. So there's no hole that the pin can go into the, there's no hole for the pin to go into. So basically, now this other one, the one that wasn't working, had the pin 20 missing. If you look at the pins, you can see that pin 20 is missing. On this one, it's not. It's not missing, it's on there, but there's a little trick we can do, and if you look at that, I've already done it, but you can see that, if I can get this to focus, it's not really good lighting, but as you can see, if I can get this to focus, pin 20, basically what I did is I took a screwdriver, or just a piece of metal, and I bent pin 20, so therefore it would fit, and let me see if I can just get this to focus so I can show you it here. This is much better. You can see that pin 20 pin 20 is like missing. It's bent up. So that makes it able to be fit into this hard drive caddy. And the lighting isn't really good, so I apologize for that. And as you can see, it will perfectly fit in there, perfectly fine once the pin is bent. So, yeah. And now that I have better lighting, I can show you the actual pin for real. You can see that the pin is bent up, and hopefully that doesn't damage it. It shouldn't damage it, and in fact, if it ends up getting broken off, you can probably solder a new pin onto it. So I'm just going to go ahead and put in the compact flash card now. So I'm going to try the 8GB card, which I'm going to try that one first, and if it does actually work, then I'll try the the other one, the industrial card. I really want to get that one working, since it will be probably the most reliable card, and it's a higher capacity, and it's a much faster speed than this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put the compact flash card in here. We're going to put it into the computer, and we're going to boot it up. Alright, so the card is booted into the computer, and we have booted into the BIOS. As you can see, it is showing up as an 8GB card. So the card is somewhat working, but remember, this is what the other card, the other adapter, was doing before. It would show the capacity, but it wouldn't work with anything else. So we'll truly know when this card is actually, if it's working or not, once we actually boot into a Windows CD and try to copy files. So that's what I'm going to do right now, since I have a Windows 98 CD in the drive. And I'm going to hope that this works. And hope that the other adapter was just faulty. I've noticed that this is a lot faster now, because if you remember in the other video, it would take like a whole minute to load this up. So maybe that's because of the new card or something. It's doing something, it's affecting the computer somehow. So let's go ahead and see if this will work. There we go. Holy shit, it's actually working. Holy fuck. Okay, I'm sorry for swearing there, but I cannot believe this. It's working! We gotta try F-Disk. We gotta try F-Disk. Whoa, we did it! We did it, guys! We did it! 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 It's working! It's working! This adapter was faulty! Yes! Alright, I just got really excited there. What I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna put in the the industrial card, and we're gonna see if that one will work. And if it does work, I'm gonna try this again, and then if it works, we're gonna go ahead and partition it on my computer, and then we're actually gonna do the dual boot. I'm so excited for this. Yes! I can't believe it! Alright, so I put in the new 16GB card, and it's reading in the BIOS, obviously, so yeah, I think that this computer probably could handle, probably can handle hard drives larger than like 10 or 16 gigabytes. I don't know if this card will work. Maybe it won't, because maybe it's just too new or something. However, I do have a high feeling that it's probably going to work, so I really hope that this card works, because like I said, it's probably going to be a lot more reliable. It's probably going to be, it has a higher capacity, and it's going to be a higher speed than the 8GB one, because that one's a consumer card, and this one is an industrial card, so. But at least we know that it can read the drive, and it can actually read the drive label, and you can actually use F-Disk on it, so that's a really good sign. So what does this say? Okay, so, wait. Your computer has NTFS partitions, which may require large drive support. Now, this is a different message than what we got last time, because last time we just got error reading fixed disk. I guess we can just try that. Let me just display partition information. Okay, can we delete that partition? I guess non-DOS partition. Because I think we don't need it. I think this is the Windows 2000 partition, because when I was experimenting with the old adapter, I actually got Windows 2000 to actually copy its files, but it couldn't boot off of the compact flash card. So that was just from my previous experimenting off camera. So since this card works, I'm now going to take it out and we're going to put it into my computer, and I'm going to go ahead and format it, because Fdisk is not really a good partition tool, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting up a dual boot. I'm not going to really go in depth into it, because I'll probably have a separate video on how to dual boot Windows 98 and Windows ME, but I'm going to try partitioning it on my main computer, because that should be a lot easier than using Fdisk. Alright, so we are back, and what I've done is I've basically set up the compact flash card. We've got our Windows 98 partition. What I've done is I've copied over the setup files, and I've also copied over the boot manager. And I've also formatted it so it's basically set up where the hard drive is bootable. I mean, the compact flash card is bootable right now, so I don't have to use the CD. So that should be much faster when we're actually installing Windows, since it just has to copy from the compact flash card instead of the CD-ROM drive. Should be much faster. So on the D drive, I got the same thing for a Windows Millennium partition. And then I've also got another partition right here. And this is just basically for shared files. Like, for example, if I need to like transfer a file from my Windows 98 partition to my Windows ME partition, I'm going to have the partition set up so basically each partition cannot see each other, but I'm going to make this one where both of the Windows 98 and Windows ME partitions can see each other. So the Windows ME partition will not be able to see the Windows 98 partition and vice versa, and that will prevent like other errors that we might be getting from that. So basically all we have to do now is we're going to install Windows 98 first. I've copied all the setup files from the CD. See, here they are. And what I have to do now is all I have to do is just type in setup. And there are some flags which I'll be using. I'm going to skip the scan disk check because when I was testing it was giving me some problems. Hopefully those problems aren't too bad. We can also skip the startup disk screen, which you need to do since we're not going to be using that. And I think that's pretty much all the flags we need, so we can go ahead and just start installing. Alright, so let me go ahead and zoom in here. Is that good? Alright, so let me go ahead and continue, and we're just going to install it as normal. Hopefully we don't get any errors or anything. Hope I don't speak too soon. Alright. This is normal. If you actually look at that, how quiet it is right now. Like, there's no sounds from the CD-ROM drive, there's no sounds from the hard drive. That's one of the benefits of using a compact flash card, is it's going to be so much quieter. You're not going to have the sounds of the hard drive spinning up. The only sounds that you'll probably have to deal with is the floppy disk drive and sometimes the CD-ROM drive, but like when you're using Windows normally, you're not ever going to get any issues with sound. So, usually this takes a few minutes. It should be a little faster since we're using the compact flash card, and we've also upgraded the RAM to 512 megabytes. Alright, so it's finished starting the setup, and now we can actually start doing stuff here. So it took about a few minutes. I don't know why that's kind of slow, but this should be a lot faster now. So hopefully we don't get any issues with the adapter. So I'm just going to do a custom install next. I will be installing, I don't need the multi-language support, but that'd be fine. Okay, that seems, And I'm just gonna name this Win98SE. Yeah, Dell 98 or something, I don't know. I'll just name it Dell 98 so I know what computer it is. Dell 98. That should be fine. So, and I can put a description here. Dell Latitude CPt. Because that's the one we have. So let's see how fast this goes. Alright, so it copied, I'd say, maybe half the time. I mean, it was only like 4 to 5 minutes from it like starting to copy the files to getting to 100. So I think it was like 15 minutes before. That's definitely some improvement over the last time. So I do have the Windows ME CD in the drive currently, so I was gonna try to boot from that, but I can just tell it not to. So and then we got to install the drivers because I don't think Windows 98 doesn't have the drivers for the sound card and the ATI chip in here. Alright, getting ready to run Windows for the first time. Alright, so we gotta type in our name, and it's gonna ask me for the product key. So this is the OEM version. Let me go ahead and get the product key, and I'll come back once I have it in. Alright, so I've got a key entered. Hopefully this is the right one. I think I entered it in right. Let me just check. Yeah, okay, it should work. Alright, it did work. That product key is so annoying. It's so annoying, but luckily you can find product keys online. It really doesn't do a good job at stopping piracy, does it? Don't know why they thought that would stop piracy. Who cares? It's 20 years old. What are you gonna do about it? 20 years old. What can you do about it? Like I said, Windows 98. I don't think it has the driver for the ATI M1 and the Mastro 3 sound card. So this is the PC card wizard. Are you using a PC card, network card, CD-ROM? No, I am not. I'm just using the hard drive to install Windows. Windows could not find any existing PC card drivers. I'm just gonna say no. I'm gonna be using a PC MCIA card later in this video because I'm gonna actually get this thing online, since I can actually hook up Ethernet, because I have this Intel card, which allows you to actually plug in Ethernet, a modern day Ethernet cable, and you can just plug it into the card bus slot, and it does actually work. So you can actually get online, although that this computer probably isn't powerful enough to run like a, I mean, you can probably get like a version of Opera, but it's not going to really be fast. And again, most websites don't really load that good. Like, you can't really watch YouTube anymore on Windows 98. You can't, like, I mean, you can get, like, on Reddit and stuff, because, like, Reddit's old, like, styling. It's, like, it's basically right out of, like, 2000 or something. It's so old. It loads just fine in Opera. I think it's like been the same ever since like its beginning or something. I think that came out in like 2007 when it launched. I don't think they've actually updated the original styling. Of course they have the redesign, but you can still access the old version of Reddit. Alright, so it wants us to set the time. It's August 28th. Yeah. Actually, it's August 29th. It's 9 p.m. No, it's not. It's like, it's 11:36 right now. Let me just set the time zone to Eastern time. And it's like 11:37 now, I would assume. It's probably not going to be really accurate, but like, it's like 11:37. I'll just set it to Why doesn't this thing not want to work? Got a notification from eBay. Whatever, that should be fine. I don't care. Right. Oh, okay, there we go. I was worried we were gonna get stuck there. So now we're copying web TV for Windows, but I don't think you can really use that since number one, I don't have a TV tuner card, and number two is that analog TV doesn't exist anymore, so it's kind of pointless. I'm not sure if you can configure it to use digital TV, but I think digital TV wasn't really widespread back in 1999. Let me actually look that up. It looks like it was adopted by the FCC back in 1996, but probably it wasn't very widespread. You'd have to get like a TV that could support it, and TVs back in 1996 didn't really support it. I've read that compact flash is not really good at like doing small files, like lots of small files, but it's something I can live with as long as it just allows me to actually use it. Alright, we gotta restart now. Alright, let's see how this will work. I believe we've got everything installed now, and it's only been about like, I'd say maybe 15 or 20 minutes, and we are like completely done. Well, not yet, there's still probably more stuff we have to do. So let me just do this. But at least we can boot off the compact flash card. It has a boot sector and it works, so that's good. I'm still not sure what was with it with the other adapter that just wasn't working. I mean, when I had it into my computer, when I had the old card into my computer, it was working just fine, the old adapter. And I did manage to get this laptop to actually copy some files over to this. Not sure why it wasn't liking it before. So let me just put this in. So Windows built a driver database. As you can see, we're still at the terrible 200 and actually it's 16 colors actually. It's 16 colors and no sound, and it's a 640 by 480 actually. It doesn't fit the entire screen. This laptop actually does have display scaling. I think it does. Let me show you that. It's terrible. Maybe that's only in DOS. Hold on. Shit. Oh, never mind. Oh, we just got this message. What is it again? System setup. It's something like that. Oh, it's okay. It's F7. Let me show you this. Yeah, as you can see, it does do display scaling. However, I mean, it doesn't look bad. I mean, it's not terrible, but once you switch back to this mode where it's not scaling it, it looks so much clearer. So that's what I just prefer. I prefer to have the black bars. Okay, so this is it. Windows 98 on a compact flash card. But we're still not done yet. What we have to do now is we have to install the Plop Boot Manager. So we can look in here and we see we've got our partitions here. Our properties. That's our compact flash card. 7 GB partition. And then up here, if you go to My Computer, properties, as you can see, we've got 512 megabytes of RAM. For some reason, it doesn't really say that I've got a Celeron in here. It just says genuine Intel x86 Family 6 Model 8 Stepping 6, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. I think there's actually a setting where you can actually have it show the processor ID or the processor name in the BIOS. So now what we've got to do is we've got to get into DOS now. And what we do is we have to install the Plop Boot Manager. We start in MS-DOS mode. Alright, we're at the command prompt now. go out of here. I'm gonna keep the setup files because if I need to install like a driver and it needs the Windows 98 CD, it'll be much more convenient. So we gotta go to the Plop folder, and then all we have to do is just type in PLPINST, and that's the program. Here's the boot manager setup. All we have to type in is just press 1, and basically that will just install the boot manager. So we can go back to the screen now. 9, okay. So now if we actually boot now, since it's written the, installed it to the system, we should see the Plop setup. And this is a very useful tool. It's I'll show you in a minute, but it's definitely what I would recommend any old school computer to have. Or even if you're going to be dual booting. Like, I mean, Windows does have its own boot manager, but this one is so much better. So, boot from hard disk. There it is. So this is Plop. Let me get that to focus. The neat thing about this boot manager is that you can actually boot off of a USB drive. Now, this computer has a USB port, but you really can't boot from it in the BIOS, but what this thing does is it actually does allow you to do it, and you can also select the floppy or the CD-ROM. You can also set it up, and as you can see, we've got OS hard disk 1. This is our Windows 98 installation. So this is for partition 1, and you know, if we do that, it works. So since that's been installed, now what we have to do is install Windows Millennium. Actually, one second here. Alright, so now I'm in Plop again, and this is our boot manager. As you can see, I've set up the Windows 98 one, but what we're going to do is we're going to set up the Windows Millennium partition. So all we have to do is we got to go to Setup, and then go to Profiles, and we're going to create a new one. We're going to call it Windows ME, and then we're going to go to Link Partitions, and you'll see this complicated stuff. Now, it's very complicated, and I'm not exactly sure how it works, but what we want to do is we want to press Enter here, and you'll see it gives us 3 partitions, and there's 3 partitions. We've got, let me see if I can get the focus. There's Partition 1, there's Partition 2, and there's Partition 3. Now, if you remember, Partition 1 is Windows 98, Partition 2 is for Windows Millennium, and then Partition 3 is our shared folder, or shared partition. We're going to go ahead and just select HDA2, which is our second partition, and we're also going to set this as a boot partition by pressing B, and then for the next partition we're going to select partition 3, and we're not going to make it bootable, so that's our setup for Windows ME, and we can go ahead and make this to be shown in the main menu, and then just hit Y, and that will save it. And we also need to go into Windows 98, and we also need to go back to Link Partitions, and then we gotta make partition 3. And then, yeah, all we gotta do is just do that really quickly, and then yes. So now if we boot into this Windows ME partition right here, we'll boot into the Windows ME partition. Now you may think, oh wait, you're wrong, this is Windows 98. Well, what I did is that when you run the format.com command with an /, it will add the system files, and since I use the Windows 98 CD, it automatically just put in the Windows 98 copyright. But this is the Windows ME partition. You can look here and you can see that there's just our setup files and nothing else, not Windows 98, nothing. And we go to the D partition, there's our shared folder, and you can see that for some reason, I don't know why it's showing up here. I don't know why it's showing up multiple times. But then again, maybe I'll have to go there and try to fix that. Not exactly sure why it's showing that up multiple times. Let me go ahead and see if I can fix that. Alright, so I got that fixed. As you can see, our C partition is Windows ME now, our D partition is a shared folder, and now the E partition is just nothing since we don't have it set up like that. It's now configured to be proper. So now all we have to do now is just go ahead and start installing Windows ME. Let's go ahead and just run setup, and I'll also be doing the same flags I did the other time. Setup IS IE, and then that should start the setup. There we go, Windows ME. And the process is pretty much just the same, except that at the end we have to do something, a very critical step, which I'll be explaining what we have to do when we come to it. So right now, again, it does this thing where it just stays here for a few minutes, so I'm just going to go ahead and just cut the video. Alright, we're at the setup again. So pretty much the installation is pretty much the same. You know, we installed to C Windows, checks our hard disk. And we're going to do a custom install. Install desktop themes. What else can we do? And web TV for Windows. And we're going to call this Dell Me. Latitude CPt. English, States, yes, and we are actually in Eastern Time, US and Canada, yes. Alright, so now we can just go ahead and copy files now, and let's see how fast this goes. Alright, so that took about maybe like 5 minutes or 6 minutes to copy it. So that was pretty fast. Now we gotta do is we gotta restart. And if you notice, when we restart, the Plop Boot Manager has basically been overwritten, but we can fix that. That's what we're gonna have to do after we finish installing the operating system. Yep, as you can see, we don't have the bootloader anymore. It just boots into Windows ME, which is fine that we can fix it. But you gotta be really careful when doing it, because you can actually mess up your install. And I've actually done that 2 times in a row. I'm not gonna do it this time. So now it's gonna ask for a product key, so let me go ahead and get that already. Okay, Windows ME. Alright, so now we have to enter our name, and then it's going to ask for the product key. So we got to type in our name here, and then it's going to ask me for the product key, and I have one right here, which I can use. Let me try that one. Alright, that worked. So far the installation has been going pretty good. It's not like very fast, but it's definitely noticeably more, like a little faster than the installing it over CD. Like I said, it usually takes like 15 minutes to copy all the files over. With the compact flash card, it's only like 6 or 7 minutes, so it's very, it's definitely an improvement. Boot us into the setup, and there we go. As you can see, it is full color. Let me zoom out. As you can see, it's full screen, no black bars, and we've got gradients in full color, because it is able to detect the card that's in here, the ATI M1. It looks great. But I'll probably have to update the driver to the latest version. I'm not sure if there is a latest version, but it's gonna set up everything. Did it ask me for the time, or did I already set that up? Probably gonna ask me for that in a minute, but alright, now we gotta reboot now. And if I'm right, we should be all done with setup. Yeah, and all you have to do is just reconfigure the bootloader and we're fine. So it wants me to enter a name and then a password, but I'm not going to enter it. We're going to update system settings here. and it's working. I think that sound right there is the CD-ROM drive. So, it's not the compact flash card. But, just gotta update these settings, and then we'll be in Windows. And then all you have to do is just rewrite the bootloader. So, this card can go back. Nice. I didn't think we were going to be able to do this. I didn't think that, you know, getting another adapter was going to really fix anything. I thought I was just going to have to just, you know, give up and, you know, say that, oh, this computer just doesn't want to accept it. If the adapter didn't work, I would have tried one last thing. I would have just updated the BIOS, because this BIOS is on A11, version A11, and apparently you can install up to A15 on the Dell Latitude CPt, so I could have just tried to get that file. Maybe I could have just got a standard ID hard drive, installed Windows 98 on it, and then just did the BIOS update. But I didn't have to, but however, I'm probably going to end up doing that. And actually, I think we have to turn on the volume or something. There's something we have to do with the volume on this. I don't see any volume slider on it. It's not like the ThinkPad where there is a volume slider. But we should have audio, and I can just test it by playing a CD on it, and then we can... Alright, here we are. We're in Windows Millennium Edition. But right now everything's a little screwed up because we don't have the boot manager. However, we can go to my computer and you can look at everything we've got. We go to properties, we've got, you know, our Celeron and our 512 megabytes of RAM. And if we go to the device manager, we can see that we've got everything except for this PCI communication devices installed. If we go to display adapters, our Rage Mobility AGP is installed. And our sound is working. I can try playing a MIDI file really quickly. Yeah, as you can see, it works. So, go to my computer. We should actually be on drive D, because it's all screwed up, unfortunately. Actually, no, it's not. But the bootloader is screwed up, so all we've got is just Windows ME right now. We don't have Windows 98, but yeah, it's kind of difficult to live with the 800 by 600 display. Go to media. And we'll play, where's all the MIDI files. I thought there was like one stop, whatever. Windows 3.1. We can get the start sound. Alright, now we're going to be doing the last part of setup. We have to rewrite the Plop bootloader. Now, Windows ME, it doesn't have real DOS mode, so what you have to do is I'm just going to boot off a floppy disk. So I have the Plop files on the floppy disk, and this is where it gets really important. You'll see that there's two options here: full boot manager install and rewrite bootloader if the boot manager doesn't start because of a new MBR. If you've already installed Plop and it's been overwritten, you have to select two. If you select one, then the entire bootloader is rewritten and you lose all your data because it will screw everything up and it'll just bam. So all we have to do is just type in 2 and just type in Y and press any key to continue, and once we reboot, it should work because we have dual booted it and we've already installed the boot manager, but it was overwritten. So it saves it somewhere on the hard drive. I'm not sure how it does that, but basically that allows it to be restored again without overwriting anything and without losing any data. And once we boot into Plop here, actually I have the floppy drive in here, so that's not what I wanted to do. I had to take it out. I took the floppy drive out, so floppy disk out. And when we boot, we should be able to boot into both Windows 98 and Windows ME. I hope. I'm going to cross my fingers and hope that it was able to restore the partition table and everything. If it doesn't, then I'm going to be a little angry. since I've just like wasted an hour. There we go. It has both of the partitions, Windows 98 and Windows ME. So let's go ahead and try booting into Windows 98. Wait a second, hold on. Shit. Is that... Okay, well, we had all our partitions saved, so let me actually see something really quickly. It's gotta be something maybe in the settings that we've screwed up here, because it was able to detect it. If it had not, if it had overwrote anything, then we would be seeing like the wrong thing. Maybe it's set up different now, I don't know why. Now let me see the partitions. Oh, shoot. Oh no, I'm starting to get a little worried here. Alright, profiles, our Windows 98 profile is linked to, well, maybe we've got to link it to partition 1. And then partition 2 is linked to, of course, partition 2. So what happens if we boot into Windows ME? That should give us Windows ME. Alright, that gives us Windows ME. So maybe I just had to change something in that. But I mean, our data is still there. But we can't see it from Windows ME. Hopefully the boot manager is able to see it. Let me just... saying that my computer can't hibernate or something, I gotta shut it down again. Please, please work. Oh my gosh. Like, I don't think I did anything wrong. I didn't overwrite it. I did everything correctly. Yes, there we go. Whew, I thought we had screwed the installation up. We did it, guys. So yeah, Windows 98 is now dual booted with Windows Millennium Edition. But now what we need to do is we need to install drivers because, well, without any drivers we've got stupid bad resolution video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install a USB driver, and then we're going to install the video and try to install the sound driver. Alright, so I'm back, and what I did is I basically took the compact flash card out of this laptop, put it into my main computer, and then copied over the files, since I just didn't want to deal with the slowness of the floppy disk. It's just so finicky, I just hate it. So I'm going to install the USB driver first. So this is a USB driver, a universal one for Windows 98. Works good for me. And I'm not going to restart it right now, but then the next thing we're going to install is the ATI M1 chip, the driver for it. So I guess we can go ahead and unzip here. And for the sound driver, it's going to be a little difficult to track down one that works in Windows 98. I'm not sure if you can just use the one that comes with Windows ME, but I have two ones that I downloaded from just Google searching, and I hope that they will work. So I just up this IE page about it, about the driver. Click on Install Now on the bottom of this page. Run the program from its current location. Okay. Run the program from its current location. Yes. Okay. What's going on here? Is it going to start? Alright, here it goes. Let's hope that it's able to install, because I really want full screen 16-bit color. I'll just go to custom. Yeah, okay. I've also got some other things on this compact flash card, like Kernel X and a better web browser and Internet Explorer 6 and Opera. So, what version of DirectX is this trying to install? It's probably like DirectX 7 or something. I'm going to try to put DirectX 9 on this so I can play some, maybe some newer games. I mean, not like new, but like, you know what I mean. Alright, so it looks like it's installed that. Now we're installing the display driver, the ATI driver, and look at that 90s type installation setup. Look at the font, it looks all bold and black. Is it going to prompt us to do anything, or do we just have to restart? Alright, there we go, let's restart. And theoretically, if I did everything correct, we should boot with full USB support and full color support. So that should be pretty nice. Are we in full color mode? Alright, so we're not in full color mode, but as you can see, we have gradients, and the color has gotten a lot better. Oh wait, we actually are in full color. We actually are in full screen mode. I thought that the bezel on the LCD screen was the black bars. Alright, so yeah, we're in full color mode, and we still don't have any sound, but now we have full color, which looked amazing on this computer. And we've got the nice little gradients on the title bars. And yeah, as you can see, everything just looks a lot nicer now, like it did in Windows ME. And let's see if I can just set the, I don't really have a good desktop to use at the moment, but like, we can try the, just leave it right for now. You can see we're on the 8-Rage Mobility M1. We can actually set this all the way up to true color at 32-bit. So let's try that. Actually, no, I think we can't do that. Well, whatever, it's fine. I'm going to try to install the ES one. I'm not exactly sure if this is the correct driver. Alright, so it's a little while later, and I have all the drivers installed now. I finally managed to find the driver for the sound card. I basically got the PCI thing using a program called Everest, which I talked about earlier. If you go here and go to, see no exclamation marks or anything, we go to sound here, and we got our all the drivers for the ESS Mastro 3. And I'll show you Everest really quickly, but I've also installed, what's this? What did I do here? What did I do? Get that out of here. Can I get that out? What is this thing? Just close that. But, oh god, I'm not really good at using this track point, but, if we go to C, you can see that we got Everest Home Edition. It's basically a portable free app, and allows you to see lots of technical information, like what driver and stuff what type of stuff we've got. If we go to motherboard, we can see that we are running a 600 megahertz Celeron, and this is, I was correct, this was a Pentium 3. This is a Pentium 3 based processor. You can see our motherboard, the Latitude CPt S600ST. We've got our memory, 511 megabytes, I guess. And the multimedia, we can go here, and then we can see the controller, and that's how I got the information on the device. You can go down here, and I've also updated it to DirectX 9, so that's the latest version of DirectX you can install. I've also upgraded Windows Media Player, and I've also installed Kernel X. Go to PCI devices, you can see the IDs for everything. If you select here, you can see that it's 125D 1998, which is the correct version that we want. And I managed to install it, and I'll show you it actually working and playing some music. So I'll just go to my computer, Windows 98, Windows, and I'll go to Media, and then the Microsoft Sound. As you can see, it works. I don't think it's really good quality. It sounds like it's missing a few high frequencies, but it does work. And I've also installed, actually I haven't installed it yet, but I did manage to get internet working, so I'll go to, I'll go ahead and install this really quickly, Opera, or Opera, whatever. This is the latest version you can install with Kernel X, and what Kernel X does is it allows you to run much higher versions of software that are allowed in Windows 98. Like this version of Opera is for Windows 2000. It basically updates some system files, and it can trick programs into thinking that they're running on Windows 2000 or Windows XP. It's not perfect. There are a few programs which won't work, but for a vast majority of programs, it just works fine, and there's really not a lot of problems. So here's the browser, and I'll load up, I got the PC card working, load up google.com, and you'll see that it's loading up Google, and I can view other sites that I want, like old.reddit.com, and I believe this version of Opera is from 2012, so it's not exactly the newest version of the browser, but it's good enough to actually browse the web. As you can see, this is reddit.com on a 2000 laptop from 2000. It's not the fastest thing in the world, and the screen resolution pretty much sucks because it's 800 by 600, but what are you gonna do about it? It works absolutely fantastic. So that wraps up our video. It's possible to install Windows 98 on a compact flash card. Yes, it is. And I showed you that it actually works. And that's it. I've started this project all the way back in May when I first got this, and it's finally done. I had to go through 2 compact flash cards, then 2 adapters, and I had to reinstall the operating system multiple times. It's just, I'm glad it's over. So that's the end of this video, end of this 2-part series. I'm going to be editing it and then uploading it, and yeah, I gotta go since my camera's battery is almost dead, but there you go. Hey, it's me from the future. If you decide on installing Windows 98 or Millennium onto a compact flash card, it's very important to disable virtual memory since it will wear down your compact flash card much faster. Here's how you do it. Make sure you've upgraded the RAM to 512 megabytes before doing this.